You're watching Northern Crimes.
Nestled within the stunning landscapes of British Columbia, Canada, is a realm of unmatched beauty. Towering mountains, lush rainforests, and aqua-colored waters compose a canvas that draws thousands of visitors each year. Amidst this picturesque expanse, a dynamic urban culture also thrives, creating a unique interplay of calm, excitement, and adventure. But not far below the surface, a shadowy current lingers, a stark reminder that even in breathtaking places, darkness often lurks. In a province renowned for its unity and warmth, stories emerge that pierce through the veneer of serenity, revealing haunting narratives of crime, lawlessness, and tragedy. This is Northern Crimes. In the heart of Vancouver, a city known for its beauty and multiculturalism, lived an industrious, well-liked family, the Mings. At the center of their world was Jimmy Ming, a hardworking man who managed the bustling Yangtze Kitchen on Robson Street in Vancouver's West End. The restaurant was a place that had grown from humble beginnings into a thriving success. Jimmy's family, originally from Taiwan, had carved out a comfortable life in Strathcona. He was a loving husband to Lily, a mother taking care of their two small children. They lived just around the corner from Jimmy's parents, maintaining strong family ties. But in the early days of 1985, things were about to change. On Saturday, January 19, the Ming family was celebrating the wedding of Jimmy's younger brother John to a Vietnamese woman. But the celebration hadn't gone well. In fact, a fight broke out, and onlookers estimated later that it involved many of the 300 mainly Vietnamese guests. As the evening progressed, Jimmy grew tired, and the couple left for their Princess Street home around 10:30 p.m. The children stayed with their grandparents for the night. It was here that the night took a chilling turn. News stories from the time state that sometime after midnight, a group of unknown assailants approached the Ming residence, gaining access to the home through a broken basement window. From there, the couple was kidnapped. The next day, Jimmy's father returned home with the children, but instead of finding his son and his wife, he found a ransom note demanding a $700,000 payout. Within minutes, he contacted the Vancouver police. As the city woke to this horrifying crime, friends and neighbors struggled to comprehend why Jimmy and Lily, a modest couple, had become the targets. Speculation grew from robbery gone wrong to the possibility of a planned holiday carrying a hefty sum, tempting for potential criminals. The community's fears were stoked by rumors of Asian youth gangs terrorizing East Vancouver. The notes from the kidnappers seemed to hint at their involvement, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the investigation. Then, 7 weeks after the couple had gone missing, a shocking discovery was made. The Ming's bodies were found in thick brush off the Squamish Highway between Porto Cove and Lions Bay. An autopsy later revealed the brutal truth. The couple had been strangled shortly after their abduction. The mystery deepened. Who could commit such a heinous crime against an ordinary, hardworking family? As the Ming family grappled with this devastating loss, the city mourned with them. But amidst the grief, questions remain unanswered. Who was behind this vicious crime? What led to their tragic end? The truth, it seemed, was as elusive as the shadows that had taken Jimmy and Lily that dreadful night. Over time, the streets of Vancouver have held on to the secrets of that night, secrets that have haunted the community for almost 40 years. As of today, the mystery of who kidnapped and murdered Jimmy and Lily Ming remains unsolved. In the summer of 1982, the Johnson and Bentley families embarked on what should have been a serene 2-week camping getaway near Wellsgrey Park in British Columbia, Canada. Among the campers were Bob and Jackie Johnson, along with their daughters Janet and Karen, who joined Jackie's parents, George and Edith Bentley. The goal was to share in the joys of nature, camaraderie, and quality family time. Yet what began as a promising adventure took a harrowing turn on August 6th. As the days slipped by without any word from the vacationing families, anxiety spread like wildfire. The tranquil scenery surrounding Wellsgrey Park morphed into a haunting picture where a perfect outdoor retreat transformed into a mystery of missing loved ones. Media outlets dubbed it the, quote, Wellsgrey Park Murders, though the grim reality unfolded just beyond the park's entrance. Their once cheerful camping spot near Bear Creek became the epicenter of a bone-chilling ordeal. It was there that authorities uncovered the scorched remnants of their vehicle weeks after their disappearance. Tragically, within the charred wreckage lay the remains of 4 adults and 2 young girls. A subsequent examination unveiled that each victim had fallen to a .22 caliber firearm, adding a layer of perplexity to the already confounding puzzle. The ensuing investigation led the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on an exhaustive chase, a meticulous reenactment, and even a nationwide journey with a replica of the Bentley's family's camper yielded frustratingly scant leads. Misleading sightings and misleading tips flooded the authorities, obscuring the path to resolution. But in a twist of fate, forestry workers stumbled on the remains of the Bentley's incinerated camper truck. This discovery, coupled with intensified police inquiries, culminated in the apprehension of David William Shearing, a local man who had resided close to the crime scene. Shearing's shocking confession eventually unveiled the grisly motives behind the heartrending tragedy, a narrative too unsettling to recount on this video. At his trial, Shearing pleaded guilty to 6 counts of second-degree murder, earning him a life sentence with no possibility of parole for 25 years. His admission of guilt laid bare a disturbing saga of merciless violence against the unsuspecting victims. Over time, Shearing's appeal for parole faced consistent denial due to the unresolved violent fantasies that lingered in his psyche. While some advocated for his release, the weight of his chilling past and enormity of his crimes overshadowed any semblance of potential rehabilitation. David Shearing, using his mother's maiden name Ennis, remains in prison. Meanwhile, the victims' families and the community still struggle with the lasting impacts of these horrifying crimes. In the summer of 2019, a chilling sequence of events unfolded in northern British Columbia, leaving a trail of tragedy and sparking a nationwide manhunt. The victims, Lucas Fowler and China Deese, a young couple on a 3-week trip exploring Canada, had their journey cut short on July 15. Their 1986 Chevrolet van broke down along the Alaska Highway, a remote stretch of road around 20 kilometers south of Liard Hot Springs. Their misfortune led them to cross paths with Curtis Broughton, a mechanic, and his wife Sandra, who stopped to check on them. The Fowlers seemed to have the situation under control, waiting for the van to start again after flooding, and appeared, quote, happy and smiling. Tragically, the next morning, on July 15, the lifeless bodies of Lucas and China were discovered by a highway worker. The victims were found in a ditch close to their van, both displaying visible gunshot wounds, lying about 5 meters apart from each other. The van's back doors were left open and the windows were smashed. This horrifying discovery sent shockwaves through the community, raising questions about the motive behind this brutal act. Then the story took a darker turn when, on July 19, a burnt-out pickup truck was found south of the Stickeen River Bridge on Highway 37. The grim discovery included the body of Leonard Dyke, a Vancouver resident found 2 kilometers south of the vehicle fire. The circumstances surrounding Dyke's death mirrored those of Fowler and Deese, although the locations were separated by 470 kilometers. The trail of events soon led investigators to Cam McLeod and Briar Schmigelski, initially reported as missing persons. The pair was identified as having operated the pickup truck before its destruction. As the pieces of this dark puzzle started to come together, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police began to suspect a connection between the missing suspects and the victims. On July 23, a burning Toyota RAV4 was found near Fox Lake Cree Nation, north of Gillam, Manitoba. This vehicle was believed to have been driven by the missing pair. The discovery triggered the RCMP to pursue second-degree murder charges against McLeod and Schmigelski in connection with the British Columbia killings. A series of sightings and tips from the public provided critical leads, but the fugitives managed to evade capture, for now. The inhospitable terrain, dense forests, and challenging environment in Gillam posed significant difficulties for law enforcement. Despite extensive efforts, including the deployment of specialized teams, the suspects remained unfound. Then, a new tip eventually led to a breakthrough, with items linked to the suspects found near the Nelson River. The investigation reached a somber conclusion on August 7, when the bodies of McLeod and Schmigelski were discovered in thick bush close to the river. An autopsy confirmed they died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Their deaths raised many questions, as the pair had recorded videos before their suicide confessing to the murders. However, they provided no motive or remorse for these brutal killings. The tragic saga left the community and the nation grappling with a profound sense of loss and a haunting absence of explanation for these senseless acts of violence. The events of 2019 served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the impact of such heinous crimes on individuals and society as a whole. As we leave these harrowing tales from the heart of British Columbia, the province's duality becomes apparent. Its exquisite landscapes and vibrant communities stand in stark contrast to the darkness that occasionally emerges from the shadows. Behind the allure of British Columbia's natural wonders and close-knit communities, questions remain unanswered. What drives ordinary people to commit such extraordinary acts of violence? How do communities heal and cope in the aftermath of these tragedies? Only time will tell.